The USC Trojans once again going to work on the recruiting trail, this time landing the number one tight end in the class of 2026, five-star Mark Bowman out of Southern California for modern day. This is a big get now for a number of reasons. We'll unpack all those right now, but before we do that, make sure you are subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel. USC fans, y'all been rocking with us for some time now. We appreciate you for that, but if you want more USC content, the best way to let us know that is by subscribing. Creates the demand, we create the supply, we go from there. So appreciate y'all being dialed in. Also on the socials, Instagram, Twitter, at JD Piquel. Let me know what you think about this get for USC, because this is a big dude now, 6'4", 230. Again, I just told you the number one tight end in America. Talked to somebody close to USC, and I said, hey, this is a big get for the Trojans. What all does, what does it mean for USC, essentially? What are you getting in a Mark Bowman? Their answer was pretty concise, pretty clear. First-round pick, period. Mic drop. The first-round pick. That's how they feel about Mark Bowman. Now, if that ends up being true or not remains to be seen, but for him to project that way and for the industry to say the exact same thing about him with him being a five-star player right now, not a lot left to be unpacked there, all right? Dude's a ball player. I think it's also worth unpacking when you talk about the impact for USC on the football side of things. You look across the Big Ten, and there is, I think, the common denominator for a lot of these teams that have success at a high level within the conference. What do they all have in common? They have a weapon at tight end. You look at Oregon, they had Ferguson last year and Sadiq this upcoming season. Tyler Warren at Penn State last year. Those two teams played for the Big Ten championship. Michigan, when they were reeling off Big Ten championships, Colston Loveland at tight end. You had Ohio State last year with G. Scott, who was a weapon for them. So you go down the line here. In the Big Ten, if you want to win at a high level, having a tight end that can help you in the run game and the pass game and kind of putting those defenses in a difficult position when it comes to matchups, it's a big part of the equation with how they play football out there in Big Ten country. So USC, by nature of landing the number one player at his position in this class, pretty good trajectory for the folks out there in Los Angeles. Now, when you zoom out a little bit on what this get means for USC and Lincoln Riley and Chad Bowden, we keep on saying this about USC, and they've come on the show, both those individuals, Chad Bowden, the GM for USC, and Lincoln Riley, the head coach for USC, have both told us, we want to lock down Southern California. They've said it multiple times. It's one thing to say it. It's another thing to do it. And this is something I've been shouting about on this very show. I want to see them not just lock down Southern California. I want to see them lock down the Trinity League, one of the top high school leagues in all of high school football. Mark Bowman, at modern day, makes the sixth commitment for this class from that specific league. Okay, so the reason why I stress that so much for that specific league as it pertains to USC and their success, obviously the nature of the league and the kind of players that come out of that league speak for themselves in terms of the caliber of player they are, what they do at the next level. Guys like Bryce Young from modern day, who from that league again, who had a lot of success clearly. But my point being, when USC is really humming, there's a pipeline for them to that league. Maybe more specifically for them to modern day. Like Matt Leinart, USC. Matt Barkley, when USC was having success when he was there, USC. Mark Bowman, different position, USC. So all that's to say now, we keep saying this for USC when it comes to how they recruit. Yes, we want to see them, own Southern California, want to see them own the Trinity League, but it feels good if you're a USC fan to see USC be relentless on the recruiting trail again, right? Because for a while it kind of felt like USC was almost just relying on the brand to some extent. I don't know if that's the case, but it felt like they weren't taking recruiting quite as seriously as maybe you would hope they would if you're a Trojan fan, because there's a lot of pride in that fan base. I think a lot of people from the outside looking in look at that logo and look at what USC is in LA and all that, and they say, oh, well, there's the beach there, there's Hollywood, there's so much else to do in Los Angeles. That USC fan base kind of fair weather, right? I see the logic there, but I don't think it's all the way true. I think there's a ton of pride with what USC is, both in that building and in that fan base. They expect a lot from USC. That brand carries a lot of weight, not just from what they've done previously, but what they're going to do in the future. Like there is a tremendous amount of buy-in at a fan-based level to what USC is. A ton of expectations with that buy-in. And those expectations are to go compete for national championships. Right now in the Big Ten, compete for Big Ten championships. And so the way they're recruiting now, I think finally from an attitude perspective, is aligned with what their goals are. Like just seeing USC attacking on the recruiting trail, just see them have seemingly their resources in a row to go recruit at this level. it's not about them finishing number one so much in the rankings as it is to me about the philosophy they're recruiting with right now. And that starts with Chad Bowden. I keep saying this. What he is as a general manager for them in Los Angeles, the attitude, the philosophy, the approach at a base level to get this many commitments early on and create that culture early on, like all of that, I'm telling you, is going to eventually result in dividends on the field. When that happens, I don't know, but landing the top tight end in America in this cycle, a step in the right direction, and another positive addition for USC and what they're going to be here in the future. One more thing I'll add, and we've said this a few times, but I want to revisit this again. Everyone is very quick to say, well, yeah, but we've seen USC recruit at a high level before, right? Just last year, USC is shooting up the rankings. And then what happens? Decommitment here, decommitment there, and they end up finishing where they finished on signing day. Not at all where they were heading into the summer, right, JD? I hear what you're saying. But by nature of how this class is being built, with a lot of these guys being from the West Coast, being in Southern California, we say this a lot. It's like long distance dating versus dating someone who's in 15 minutes from down the block. It's much easier to nurture that relationship and have some stamina there, as opposed to trying to jump on FaceTime with the time change and all those things. It's a lot harder to have that be sustainable. So for USC, all that to say, love the way they're building this class. Love this addition from Mark Bowman. Love what it means for them on the football field. USC continues to be up and to the right when it comes to what they're doing on the recruiting trail. So USC fans, again, make sure you are subscribed. Got a lot more content headed your way, both on the recruiting side, I have to believe, and what we're going to talk about with your team on the field. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time.